CEO's mute daughter at playground. Shocking moment when a stranger uses sign language at 3 p.m. The sun hung low over Sterling Park, casting long shadows from the swing sets that creaked in the wind, a perfect day for a family outing. But there was something distinctly unsettling in the air, like a storm brewing just out of sight. At exactly 3 p.m., as laughter and playful screams filled the air, a collective gasp rippled through the gathered crowd. All eyes were glued to one figure. A little girl, no more than 7, sitting silently on a bench, her gaze fixed on the playground chaos around her. The daughter of a powerful CEO, she'd been born without sound, her world filled with muted colors and muffled emotions. But today, the scene twisted in an unimaginable direction. From nowhere, a stranger approached, a woman draped in a long, flowing coat that billowed around her like an ominous cloud. She moved with an unsettling grace, her hands dancing in the air. The nearby parents exchanged worried glances, their hearts racing. What was she doing? Curiosity mixed with fear. A thick tension settled over the park like fog as they leaned in, straining to understand this strange tableau that was unfolding before them. The stranger knelt before the mute girl, and the air crackled as hands began to form words in the language of silence. The girl's eyes widened, reflecting awe and disbelief. Kids around them paused their games, the shrieks of joy fading into an eerie hush. Had they just witnessed this strange woman speaking to her with sign language? Whispers swept through the crowd, mingling with the tranquil park sounds. Who is she? Why is she here? Inside, the little girl felt an unfamiliar warmth spark within her chest, an echo of connection she craved. But just as quickly, the strange woman's expression shifted, her face twisting into a cryptic smile, almost predatory. The crowd tensed further, an unspoken understanding passing between the parents. Something wasn't right. Hey, before we continue with this amazing story, I need to give you an important heads up. Many subscribers have reported that YouTube unsubscribed them without warning. Take a quick second to check the red button below to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. I'd hate for you to miss any of the exclusive content coming soon. And while you're there, smash that like button, it really helps me out with the algorithm. Oh, and tell me in the comments, which city are you watching from? I love getting to know every amazing person who's part of this community. Your participation makes all the difference. Let's connect. Suddenly, the playground was filled with sudden silence, the kind that makes your skin prickle. The woman leaned even closer, reaching out. Would she touch the girl? In that split second, all hope seemed to hang in the balance. Was she a savior or something far more sinister? The moment was electric, the weight of uncertainty pressing on everyone. Eyes widened, breaths caught. What would happen next? The crowd held its breath, stepping closer to the edge of discovery, as the air thickened with mystery. The stranger's hand hovered just inches from the girl's face, fingers poised to continue the conversation. The park's laughter had evaporated into a chilling void. Then, without warning, the woman's fingers curled sharply and her eyes flashed with an intensity that sent shivers through the crowd. What are you doing? A father shouted, his voice cracking with urgency. The shrill tone hung in the air for a moment, breaking the enchantment that had enveloped the scene. Others echoed him, rising from their benches, shadows dashing forward, protective instincts kicking in. The girl flinched, her eyes darting between the stranger's hands and her father's angry silhouette. The woman shrugged off the crowd's concern as if they were nothing but whispers on the wind. She leaned closer to the girl, not intimidated at all. You can hear me, you just don't know it yet. She signed, her movements fluid yet unsettling. Confusion twisted inside the girl, a mix of fear and curiosity. What did that mean? Before she could process, a chill seemed to pass through her, the kind that primed your body for danger. Her heart raced, thumping loudly against her chest as its familiar rhythm battled against the silence wrapping around them like a vice. Another parent stepped in. Get away from her. He shoved forward, protecting his freedom from the unfamiliar chaos. The stranger stood unwavering, unfazed by the stares and threats converging upon her. A smile danced across her lips, as though something deep within her was amused by the chaos. Please, the girl managed to whisper, her small voice quiet enough to go unheard. Yet, it felt monumental to her. She wanted to soothe this tension that clawed at her heart, but the words faded before they could take flight. The woman suddenly straightened, her hands retreating slightly. "Don't be afraid. I'm here to teach you," she beckoned, an eerie calm settling over her features as if she were an illusion no one dared to touch. What did that mean? Teach her what? The parents were scrambling now, pulling their children away. Murmurs rose, uncertainty swelling into palpable tension. "We need to call the police," shouted another onlooker, the stakes climbing higher, a barely contained panic simmering underneath the surface. She's a threat. But there was something almost magnetic about the woman, holding the girl captive in a web of intrigue. The uncertainty of the moment locked them in an unbreakable gaze, as if a silent conversation was raging within the depths of their souls. Just as the crowd began to disperse, a sudden rustle drew everyone's attention. From the shadows near the tree line, a figure stepped forward. Another child? Someone familiar? As the light hit his face, recognition swept through the audience. The girl's older brother. "Mia," he yelled, breaking into a sprint, his features a mixture of worry and anger. "Get away from her." His voice sliced through the chaos, grabbing everyone's focus like a spotlight. Immediately, the woman's predatory smile vanished from her face, replaced by a flash of something more sinister. Before the girl could react, the air shifted again, thickening with tension. Mia's heart raced. Who was this woman? What secrets was she banking on? As her brother reached her, they locked eyes, and in that moment, both siblings felt the urgency of a bond stronger than words, a mutual understanding that they needed to escape. But as they turned to run, they felt a different shadow creeping in, darkening their day. The mysterious woman raised her hands once more, but this time she wasn't signing. Instead, she pointed, her fingers slicing through the air, signaling something unseen, and Mia felt a stirring sense of dread. Mia's heart pounded so loud, it drowned out the chaos around her. What was about to happen? Would they escape this nightmare before it consumed them? Mia and her brother, Jason, stood frozen as the woman pointed. The crowd was a blur, faces twisted in fear, but they were trapped in the gaze of the stranger. The park felt like a scene from a movie, the wind hushed, every sound muted, as if the world was holding its breath. Without a second thought, Jason grabbed Mia's hand, pulling her in the opposite direction. "Run!" he shouted, adrenaline coursing through him. Mia stumbled, heartbeat thunderous in her ears, fueled by confusion and terror, but they hadn't gone far. A sudden rush of cold air swept through, swirling leaves around their feet, an unnatural gust that felt like a warning. Jason turned, eyes wide, but Mia couldn't bring herself to look back. Instead, she focused on her brother's strong grip, her lifeline in this chaos. The air hummed with a tension that crackled like static electricity, making her skin prickle. And then, the woman's voice pierced through the air, deeper now, a resonance that vibrated with urgency. "You can't run from what you are." Mia stumbled again, shaking off the strange pull of the words. What did she mean? Her mind raced. Did she know something about them? Suddenly, the crowd shifted. Parents, now horrified witnesses, parted like waves as Jason and Mia pushed through. "We have to get to the car," he urged, steering them toward the park entrance. But in the back of her mind, Mia couldn't shake the eerie feeling of being watched, the weight of unseen eyes measuring their every move. The strange woman's laughter echoed across the field, unsettling and mocking. "You don't even know what's coming." Jason halted abruptly, looking back. His gaze darted between their escape route and the figure still standing, perfectly composed amid the chaos. "Mia, we can't just leave her there." "Are you crazy?" she snapped, panic edging her voice. Arguing felt futile, her instincts cried out for safety. The warmth of brotherly protection was slipping through her fingers. But Jason's eyes softened. "That girl, she was different, Mia. I think she wanted to help you." Mia's heart squeezed painfully, two sides of doubt wrestling within her. Help, or something darker? She barely understood the sensation creeping into her as the woman had reached toward her. Mia took a breath, her thoughts a foggy mirror. What did she really want? Before they could resolve their dilemma, a sudden crack pierced the air like a whip. Heads turned toward the sound, back to the mysterious woman. She was gone. In her place stood swirling mist, tendrils of fog weaving through where she had just been, the chill seeping into their bones. The crowd gasped, shock rippling through their gathered ranks, turning their focus back to Mia and Jason. Where did she go? Someone shouted, panic echoing. Did she disappear? Mia's heart raced as dark thoughts swirled. While the park had been bright moments before, shadows clung to the ground now, creeping closer as if drawn to her. She looked at Jason. What if she comes after us? Jason nodded, seriousness etched on his face. We need to get somewhere safe, somewhere she can't find us. Let's go to the diner on the corner. They all know what to do. Still holding her brother's hand, Mia felt the tug of fear, but also a flicker of determination. They couldn't just run forever. Someone had to face this madness. As they turned to escape for real, the shadows whispered their secrets around her. When they reached the street, Mia turned back one last time. The park loomed behind them, an expanse of trees and confusion. But was the danger really gone, or was it just waiting, lurking in the shadows? The realization gripped her, tightening like a vice. Something was coming, and she had a feeling it wouldn't stay hidden for long. As they sprinted toward safety, a single question echoed in her mind. Would they ever be free of that woman's haunting grip? Mia and Jason burst through the doors of the diner, eyes wide and chests heaving. The bell above the door chimed, but the usual warmth of the place felt alien. It was packed families, friends, all blissfully unaware of the chaos that had unfolded just outside. They slid into a booth at the back, breathless, their surroundings fading away in the haze of adrenaline. Did you see her? Mia gasped, glancing toward the window as if expecting the woman to materialize in the glass reflection. She just disappeared. I know, Jason whispered, his brow furrowed. But what does it mean? Who was she? What did she want? Mia felt the hairs on her arms stand up, the din of conversation dulling, replaced by the disquieting thrum of her own heartbeat. In the split second that woman had spoken, something deep within her had stirred. Was it fear? Curiosity? Or something darker? I have no idea. Her voice trembled. But she definitely knew something. Just then, the waitress approached their table, all smiles and warmth, but the glint in her eyes betrayed something deeper. What can I get you to? She chirped, glancing between them with an unnerving intensity. 2 sodas, Jason managed, still wary. As the waitress walked away, Mia leaned in closer, lowering her voice. Do you think she'll find us here? What if she's just waiting? Jason shook his head, his expression hardening. We can't keep worrying about her. We need to figure out what she meant about us. What we are. Before Mia could respond, the door swung open again, and a new chill rushed in. Her breath caught as she caught sight of a figure standing just outside. A man tall and shrouded in a long coat, shades hiding his eyes. But the familiarity sent an electric jolt through her. Slowly, he stepped inside. Jason, is that? Mia's voice was barely a whisper, panic starting to swell. Her brother turned to see too late. The man had already crossed the room, heading straight for their booth. Tension knotted in the air, and every conversation around them faded into oblivion. I've been looking for you, he said in a low voice, every word laced with urgency. Who are you? Mia demanded, inching further into the booth, her stomach twisting. What do you want? My name is Aiden. I'm here to help you, the man said, his tone calm but urgent. We have no time to waste. She is not the only one who knows about you. At his words, the diner seemed to fall silent. Customers paused, eyes darting towards the scene unfolding. You don't want to be here when she comes back, Aiden warned, his gaze flicking nervously to the front door. Mia exchanged a glance with Jason, anxiety spiking. What do you mean? Is she coming after us? Worse, Aiden warned. She is summoning others. That is why I found you. You need to come with me, now? Panic erupted within Mia, the din of the diner threatening to suffocate her. No, we're not going anywhere with you, she protested, gripping Jason's arm. You don't understand what we just went through. Then you'll never escape it, Aiden replied sharply, a flicker of desperation lighting his features. Trust me, if you don't leave right now, you'll be caught in something far worse than you can imagine. As the words hung in the air, the front door swung open again, revealing a thin veil of fog creeping inside, curling around their booth like fingers. The laughter of the woman echoed through the diner's silence, a menacing reminder. She was close. Jason jerked his head toward Aiden. What do we do? Aiden's eyes narrowed. Follow me. It's the only chance you have. But as Mia felt the pull of darkness creeping ever closer, dread settled over her. The edge between safety and danger blurred before her eyes. Could she trust this man? Or was he leading them deeper into the shadows? Tension crackled in the air as the choice loomed large. Mia faced Jason, both of them swallowed by the weight of uncertainty. Could they risk leaving the diner and confronting what awaited them outside? Mia took a breath, her heart quickening. What lay ahead would challenge everything they knew. As the fog swirled ominously closer, the haunting laughter echoed again, chilling them to the bone. And the question lingered, shifting the air. Would they follow Aiden, or would they stand their ground against a night that promised horrors yet unseen? Mia felt her breath hitch in her throat, the laughter growing closer, swirling around them like a storm ready to break. She glanced at Jason, his eyes mirroring her fear, but there was something else in them, resolve. He was ready to fight. Aiden, he said, his voice steady despite the chaos surrounding them. We need answers. What do you know about us? Aiden hesitated, frustration flashing across his face. What you're experiencing is just the beginning. You both have connections, powers, even that others want to control, use, or destroy. He leaned in, his voice dropping to a whisper. And the woman is the least of your problems. Mia felt a shiver run down her spine. Our powers? What are you talking about? Before Aiden could respond, the lights in the diner flickered, casting eerie shadows that danced against the walls. Suddenly, the laughter erupted again, a cruel chorus echoing from the depths of the fog. Jason shot a look at the door, his knuckles white from gripping the table. Maybe we should leave. Aiden seemed to size up the situation, his gaze darting back to the fog creeping inside. It's too late. She's already here. Mia felt her stomach drop. In that moment, she understood. The laughter wasn't just a sound. It was a call, a demand echoing through the very air itself. She turned her head towards the door, held her breath, and then a shadow broke through the fog, its contours shifting and swirling until it solidified into the same woman who had chased them earlier. The light caught her features, twisting them into a psychotic grin that sent a wave of terror washing over Mia. Welcome back, children, the woman purred, her voice sweet like honey but dark as night. Did you think you could escape? The din of the diner dissolved into whispers as patrons turned to witness the spectacle, eyes widening, mouths dropping. Mia could feel the weight of their stares, their disbelief morphing into fear. Get away from us, Jason shouted, instinctively putting himself between the woman and Mia. Oh, I'm not here to hurt you, she replied, her smile growing wider as her gaze flickered with amusement. At least, not yet. Every word she spoke dripped with malice, intoxicating and terrifying. Mia felt the air grow thick around her, her lungs tightening as she struggled to breathe. Aiden stiffened beside them, his jaw clenched. We need to go now? Trust me. But Mia couldn't tear her eyes from the woman. What do you want with us? She managed to choke out. The woman tossed her head back and laughed, a sound that echoed ominously around the diner. What do I want? To take back what's rightfully mine. Jason turned to Aiden, demanding, what does she mean? She wants to control your abilities. Aiden shouted, tension boiling in his voice. You have to leave. Now. Mia's mind raced. Could it be true? The wild, inexplicable things that had happened lately? The moments when things had felt different? The woman took a step closer, the fog swirling more violently at her feet. The longer you hide, the greater your powers will become, and the more dangerous you will be for me, for all of us. Mia felt an urgency, the thrill of fight or flight coursing through her. She looked at Jason, their eyes locking in unspoken agreement. Okay, she said, a steely determination hardening her voice. We'll go with you. But before she could say another word, the woman lunged forward, eyes aflame with fury. You can't escape me. Chaos erupted as tables toppled and screams filled the air. Aiden reached out to grab Mia's arm, pulling her to her feet. Run, he yelled, and without hesitation, the three of them bolted toward the back exit as the diner erupted into panic. With every pounding step, Mia felt the walls closing in, the laughter of the woman echoing after them like a relentless specter. Just as they neared the door, the shadows surged around them, swirling like a tempest. Mia's heart raced, thoughts darting in frantic directions. Could they outrun whatever was chasing them? And as they burst into the chilling night air, the fog enveloped them once more, the laughter fading but not for long. Where do we go now? Jason panted, looking at Aiden, urgency flooding his voice. Aiden's eyes glinted with a hint of fear. There's an old warehouse at the edge of town. We can hide there, but we must move fast. Time is running out. And just as they turned to flee, a chilling realization washed over Mia. This was only the beginning. What awaited them in the darkness? Would it be salvation, or something far worse? As they dashed into the night, the answers loomed ahead, shrouded in shadows. The cold air bit at Mia's skin as they sprinted through the fog-drenched streets. Each shadow seemed to pulse with a life of its own, lurking and watching, whispering threats she couldn't understand. In the back of her mind, the woman's laughter echoed, a reminder of the danger that pounced behind them like a predator. Faster, Aiden urged, glancing over his shoulder. She's not far behind. Mia's legs burned, but she pressed on, heart hammering like a drum. The warehouse loomed ahead, an old silhouette against the dark sky, its broken windows like hollow eyes watching their approach. Jason reached for the door, but Aiden stopped him. Let me. With a swift motion, Aiden kicked the door open, the rusty hinges creaking in protest. They tumbled inside, the musty smell of abandonment filling their lungs. The room was dimly lit, shafts of moonlight cutting through the shattered windows, illuminating dust motes that danced around them like ghosts. Stay quiet, Aiden whispered, his face taut with anxiety. Mia nodded, but her mind buzzed with frantic thoughts. What did she mean about our powers? Why would she want us? Those abilities are rare, Aiden replied, eyes darting in the shadows. You're not safe until we figure it out. Jason leaned against the wall, breathless. We can't hide forever. We need to confront her. No, Aiden interjected sharply. You don't understand the risks. She knows how to manipulate your abilities. We must find a way to control them first. It's the only way. Mia felt a knot form in her stomach. Control? The idea of wielding power scared her even more than the woman hunting them down. Suddenly, a loud crash echoed from outside the warehouse, followed by the woman's sickly sweet laughter cutting through the stillness. Oh, children, she called out, the sound melodic yet dripping with malice. Hiding won't save you. I can smell your fear. Mia's heart raced. Every instinct screamed for her to run, but they were trapped. They had to confront this monster. The other patrons, they saw you. Jason exclaimed, realization dawning. They know we were here. She can't have any loose ends, Aiden said, panic evident in his voice. If she knows about them, she'll find us faster. The laughter was louder now, almost taunting them, and it sent shivers racing down Mia's spine. Think, Aiden. Think. She paced across the room, nibbling her nails. What can we do? Aiden's brow furrowed, and then he straightened. There might be a way to protect your powers. It won't be easy, but it's our best shot. Mia swung her gaze to him. What do we have to do? If we can tap into your abilities together, you may be strong enough to fight back. But it requires trust between all of us. Trust? Jason scoffed, his nerves fraying. You expect us to trust each other right now? Without it, you won't survive, Aiden shot back. I can show you how. But we need to get moving before she breaks through. Just then, the warehouse door buckled violently as if something had slammed against it. Wood splintered, the sound vibrating through the air, an ominous reminder of their impending doom. That a bolt of fear shot through Mia. We don't have much time then, hurry. Aiden yelled. Channel your powers. Use the fear, it's part of you. Mia's chest tightened at the thought, but she forced herself to focus. She could feel something stirring inside her, like a flicker of light growing dimly brighter against the dark. Let us do it, Jason said, determination flooding his voice as he took her hand. As they joined hands, an electric pulse shot through them. Energy surged and sparked, igniting the air around them. A wave of warmth began to rise, battling the dread creeping in from the shadows. Concentrate, Aiden shouted over the clamor, urgency ringing in his tone. With every heartbeat, Mia felt the intensity build until it became a roaring tide, spilling out from the core of her being. Just as the door splintered, revealing the woman's crazed figure silhouetted against the light, the trio unleashed a surge of energy. Mia gasped as colors erupted around her, a shimmering barrier enveloping them. The laughter fading into a distant memory, but as they braced for battle, the air shifted, and a new presence loomed close, ready to pounce. You think this little trick will save you? The woman cackled. Let's see if it holds. Mia felt her heart drop once more, and the question hung heavy in the air. Could they truly harness their powers before it was too late, or would they become pawns in her twisted game? As the darkness closed in again, she realized this was just the beginning of a far deeper battle. What was it she truly held within? And would that discovery bring her salvation or doom? The woman's laughter shattered the air as she forced her way through the splintered door. An oppressive darkness poured in behind her, a palpable force that seemed to suck the warmth from the shimmering barrier Mia had conjured. A chill danced along Mia's spine as fear turned to resolve. Don't waver, Aiden shouted, gripping their hands tighter. We need to focus. Mia could feel Jason's heart hammering against his ribcage, matching the frantic cadence of her own pulse. The energy crackling around them felt both powerful and precarious. The woman's face emerged from the shadows, her eyes gleaming with malice, a predator basking in the scent of her terrified prey. Oh, how cute, the woman mocked, stepping closer. The barrier shimmered, flickering in response to the growing dread. You think your little light show will protect you? How quaint. Mia instinctively recoiled but steadied herself, channeling her fear into the barrier, willing it to grow stronger. She felt Aiden's steady presence beside her, lending her his confidence. The woman's silhouette loomed larger, but Mia's spirit began to spark. Images of her past flickered through her mind, moments of anger, sadness, and joy. All the raw emotions intertwined, giving her strength. You're stronger than you know, Mia, Aiden urged, prompting her through his unwavering gaze. Let go of the fear. Embrace it. With that, an idea surged through her, a vision of fire igniting around them, flames reaching but never consuming them, only empowering them. It wasn't just about fighting back. It was about understanding their abilities. Use your abilities, Jason yelled, his voice breaking through her thoughts. We can't let her control us. Mia gasped as clarity washed over her. She pushed against the exhaustion flooding her limbs, focusing harder, reaching deeper than she ever thought possible. Aiden's warmth, Jason's fierce determination, she could feel their energy sync with her own, creating something greater. From the barrier, waves of brilliant light burst forth. It enveloped them, illuminating the warehouse with a fierce glow, then expanded outward, pushing back against the woman. She shrieked, her eyes widening in astonishment as the light swelled. You can't, she spat, reaching out as if to snatch their power from the air. That light belongs to me. But Mia felt the truth of their unity, a bond that no one could break. With a unified exhalation, they directed the energy at her, an onslaught of color and sound that crashed against the woman like a tidal wave. But just as it seemed like they were gaining control, darkness erupted from the woman, swirling like a vortex. It siphoned the light around them, pulling it back into an abyss. The laughter twisted into a battle cry as she fought against their union. The atmosphere thickened, and Mia struggled to keep her footing. Shadows clawed at her mind, whispering doubts. Don't let her in, Aiden roared, grounding Mia with his steadfast gaze that they held tight. Fear swelled in Mia's heart, gnawing at her resolve. She felt Jason falter, a moment of weakness that she couldn't allow. Together, she screamed, tapping into the depths of her anguish and calling forth every flicker of warmth, the laughter of friends, the love of family. Fight with me. The light surged and pulsed as if responding to her call, rippling through the darkness. Mia could see the woman's form fluctuating, a crack appearing in the chaos where light began to break through. Impossible. The woman spat, her expression warped with rage, but it wasn't impossible. They could do this. As hope ignited within them, Mia saw possibilities intertwining, fear and courage dancing gracefully. And in the midst of that realization, the shadows recoiled, a moment of hesitation flickering across the woman's face. Mia, Jason gasped, his voice a tether in the storm. Now, finish it. With a racing heart, Mia surged forward, leaning into the light they had built together. A concentrated beam shot from their hands, piercing through the darkness like a star-breaking dawn. The sound of shattering glass echoed. In the air, raw and electric. But as the light met the woman's energy, the very ground trembled beneath their feet. In an explosion of light and shadow, everything fell silent. Mia blinked as she stared into the sudden void left behind. The warehouse felt different, as though reality itself held its breath in anticipation. The trio stood together, hands still clasped, hearts racing. What just happened? Jason whispered, glancing around. Mia bit her lip, a chill creeping up her spine. Where did the woman go? And what would happen next? The shadows clung to the edges of her consciousness, still whispering doubts, but Mia felt a flicker of hope. We need to understand what we just did. Just then, a low growl echoed from the darkness, sending shivers racing down her spine. She's coming back, Aiden breathed, eyes wide with dread. The battle was far from over, and the true test of their powers lay just ahead. Could they uncover the full depth of their abilities before it was too late? The air thickened, pressing against Mia and her friends as they tightened their grip on each other. Each breath felt like a betrayal, promising respite but only delivering fear. The growl echoed again, and it seemed to crawl up the walls of the warehouse, rattling the metal frames with its menace. Stay close, Aiden barked, his resolve unshaken but the tremor in his voice betraying the weight of the unknown. Jason scanned the expanse of shadows retreating and reforming, an eerie dance swirling at the edges of light. Mia felt every muscle in her body tense, every nerve alight. What they had done to the woman had only displaced her for now. Remember the light, Mia whispered, her heart pounding like a drum. That's our power. We can beat her. Yet, as she spoke, doubt wrapped around her heart. What if the light hadn't been enough? A sinister chuckle rippled through the warehouse, and the shadows began to morph. They blossomed outward like dark petals unfurling. The woman's voice, sweet yet cutting, sliced through the silence. You think you can defeat me with that flicker of light? Mia's stomach flipped at the sound, velvet smooth, but woven with menace. You are just a child playing dress-up. I am a master of darkness, a queen of shadows. The shadows surged forward, each twisting tendril snaking closer, forming shapes that clawed at Mia's mind. She could almost feel their icy touch. Fear clawed at her throat, threatening to choke her. No, Aiden shouted, stepping in front of Mia, his arms spread wide in a protective stance. We want to let you take us. Let us be honest, dear, the woman said, a malicious grin creeping across her face. You've no idea what you're up against. With a sweeping motion of her hand, shadows curled in a vortex towards them. The barrier began to falter, flickering dangerously. Mia, focus, Jason urged, his voice a lifeline amidst the chaos. Think of our bond. Think of your light. In that moment, Mia harnessed everything: their shared laughter, the tears they had shed together, the fierce connections formed amidst uncertainty. Channeling her chaotic emotions, she felt the warmth of Aiden beside her, the hope radiating from Jason. Together, she shouted again, and, as the shadows bore down, they stood firm, pouring their combined energy into the barrier. It flared back to life, resonating with a newfound brilliance that illuminated the entire warehouse. The woman's eyes widened, confusion flickering across her features. No, this can't be, but Mia pushed harder, feeling the embers of anger shake loose from deep within. The barrier expanded, pushing against the encroaching darkness, colliding with the woman's terror. Get back, she screamed, the sound erupting into the silence like a firecracker. The shadows recoiled as if burned, but just as Mia thought they were gaining the upper hand, the woman thrust her arms wide, summoning a tide of darkness that surged through the cracks in their light fortress. The barrier buckled under the weight, and flickering tendrils of shadow wormed their way into their minds, whispering their worst fears. You are nothing without me, you'll never escape. The onslaught of darkness stung, each whisper a poison rooting deep into her soul, dragging Mia down to despair. The weight of it crashed over her, and vulnerability washed away the courage she had summoned. Mia, Aiden shouted, voice tinged with panic. Jason's grip wavered for just a heartbeat, but that was all it took. Darkness slipped into the cracks. No, Mia screamed as it pierced into her, and then she felt their connection flicker. A piece of her heart, her light, dimmed, and another wave of darkness swept over them. Mia, don't give in. Aiden's voice cut through, desperate yet resolute. We need you. We can't lose. Tears spilled from her eyes, fear and doubt battling for control. But somewhere buried beneath that fear was the spark of hope that she had ignited, an ember that refused to die. With every ounce of strength she could muster, Mia focused, pulling from the depths of her spirit, reaching for that flicker. She could feel the shadows pressing closer, but they couldn't extinguish the light she had found. We are stronger together. And with a final push, she brought her hands together, summoning the light. A searing beam erupted from within, splitting the darkness asunder. But then, her vision faltered, and she felt herself slipping. The light shimmered uncertainly and sank back into the void. "What's happening?" Jason gasped, his body visibly trembling. From the depths of the darkness, the woman's voice rang clear. "You think you alone can defeat me? Allow me to show you what true despair looks like." Mia's heart raced. What could that mean? As shadows wove tighter, a sinking feeling gripped her as they started to dim. The truth was, they were running out of time. "Are you ready?" Aiden whispered fiercely, but Mia barely heard him through the encroaching darkness. What awaited them in the unknown depths of that ever-looming shadow? The answer hung in the air, heavy and charged. As the shadows closed in, thick as fog, Mia felt the chilling presence wrap around her like a vice. Each breath became harder, stifled by fear and suffocating uncertainty. She could hear them whispering, their voices a haunting symphony of her deepest anxieties. What if they were right? What if she was destined to fail? "Mia," Aiden's voice cut through the murmurs. "We can't give up. Remember what's at stake." She focused on his words, desperate to cling to their shared purpose. Her panic was met with a renewed determination. They had come too far to let despair swallow them whole. Together, she echoed once more, squeezing Aiden and Jason's hands tightly. The connection between them sparked with a desperate energy, and for a heartbeat, the oppressive weight of the darkness lifted slightly, just enough for a splinter of hope to break through. But then, like an avalanche, the shadows surged forward, clawing at the edges of their light. The woman's laughter filled the air, cruel and mocking, echoing off the metal walls of the warehouse. "You think you can bind me with your little flicker? Feel the truth of your failure." As she spouted her venomous taunts, the shadows thickened, transforming into nightmarish forms that twisted and writhed. They swirled around Mia, Jason, and Aiden, wrapping around their limbs, whispering insidiously of their weaknesses, their doubts, their regrets. Mia fought against it, but the weight of everything she had endured came crashing down. "No, you're wrong," she cried, her voice trembling with defiance. The moment hung in the air, electric and charged, and within her, a surge of clarity erupted. Despite the suffocating dread, a memory flickered, one moment of laughter shared in the warmth of light, when everything felt right. She clung to it. "Mia, don't let them in," Jason shouted, terror lacing his voice as one tendril of shadow grazed his cheek, leaving the trace of icy fear. "Find your light," Aiden added fiercely, frustration leaking through his resolve. With every ounce of strength, Mia focused on that glimmer, a memory of friendship amidst the storm of fear. The warmth of that moment spread through her like a wildfire. She breathed deep, summoning that feeling, and as if responding to her call, the barrier flickered back into brilliance. But just as hope surged, the woman unleashed a torrent of darkness that struck the barrier like a tidal wave. "You think you have what it takes, little girl? Let us bring your deepest fears to light." Mia felt the shadows slithering, growing within her thoughts, and she gasped as flashes of her past flickered like lightning. The arguments, the loneliness, the pain of feeling invisible. The shadows twisted those memories into monstrous shapes, forcing her to confront the very doubts she'd buried deep inside. "Fight it!" Jason's voice was hoarse now, desperation creeping in as the barrier shuddered violently under the pressure. Aiden's grip didn't falter. "You're not alone, Mia. Remember us." She could almost feel the warmth of their encouragement fueling her. "I want to let you take me," Mia screamed, her heart pounding fiercely against the dark tide rolling in. Willing herself to push back, she took a step forward, channeling all the fear and anger into a brighter light. This time, she didn't just conjure the flame of hope. She turned it into a raging fire. A searing beam burst forth from her palm, illuminating the shadows, forcing them back momentarily, but the woman's laughter splintered through once more, echoing ominously. "You think that is enough?" Just wait until you see what I can show you, and with that, the shadows coalesced again, forming an anguished figure, someone Mia thought she had lost forever. Every ounce of Mia's courage wavered as the familiar face within the darkness moved closer. Was it truly who she feared? What is happening? Aiden shouted, uncertainty creeping into his voice. Mia felt the world spin beneath her, the merging of light and shadow a chaotic swirl, pulling her further into doubt. Was this the end, or was it merely the beginning of a far more sinister confrontation? As the darkness pressed in again, Mia's heart sank. The figure loomed ever closer, a threat embodied in shadow, a reminder that the worst was yet to come. Could she ever truly escape the shadows? Time turned elastic, stretching the moment into eternity, and the question lingered heavy in the air. The world around Mia pulsed with a frantic energy, shadows swirling like a tempest, taunting her with every flicker of doubt. As the familiar figure approached with dark fervor, recognition clawed at her mind. It couldn't be. No, she gasped, fighting against the onslaught of memories, twisted remembrances that screamed betrayal. Mia, the whisper echoed through the warehouse, heavy with sorrow yet tainted with a darkness. It felt as if the shadows themselves were using her fears against her, warping the familiar into something grotesque. Enough! Aiden shouted, determination lighting his eyes. You have the strength to push back. But doubt clawed at Mia's heart. What if this figure really was everything she had lost? With her breath quickening, she shook her head, forcing herself to confront the illusion. You're not real, she cried, her voice trembling. You're just a shadow. As if she spoke truth to power, the figure faltered. But the woman's laughter broke through again, piercing the air with malice. She's merely a reflection of what you fear most. Mia's mind spun, but as tears slid down her face, she felt something crack within her, a fissure through which light could seep. You want to take my heart, she whispered fiercely, channeling everything she had ever loved and lost, pushing that energy into the air between them. You can't control me. The barrier shimmered as if responding to her conviction, pulsing with new brightness while the shadowy figure struggled to remain solid. Fight! Jason shouted, voice filled with fire, urging Mia to dig deeper and find the strength they all shared. Mia tightened her grip on her brother's hand. United, they formed a chain, passing the light between them like electricity, each pulse igniting a flame that pushed against the threats creeping into their minds. They wouldn't fall victim to fear, they would rise together. Let us end this, Aiden exclaimed, determination fueling his voice as he channeled his spirit into their collective force. Channel every emotion, every unhealed wound, and pour it into your power. The shadows recoiled at the roar of incandescent light. Mia felt the warmth swell within her heart, turning anxiety into a burning resolve. They unleashed their energy in one coordinated surge, a blinding wave that surged through the dark vortex. Goodbye, Mia called to the figure that began to dissolve, leaving nothing but whispers of fear and regret. But the woman still stood, her roots digging in like a thorny vine, the laughter straining against the newfound light. You think you can leave me behind? I will always be with you. Throwing every ounce of energy into the barrier, the trio amplified their connection, a radiant shield of brilliance cascading forth. No, Mia shouted, heart throbbing with raw power. You will not haunt us. The beam they forged punctured the darkness, a pathway to freedom. It spread wider, driving back the shadows until the very air shimmered with light, casting away the woman's cruel smile. With a final, desperate scream, the woman exploded into mist, scattering into the corners of the world, her laugh echoing like thunder, but fading little by little. Panting, Mia, Jason, and Aiden stood from that moment of chaos, breathing heavily as silence enveloped them. The air felt different, lighter, scalable, but the toll of the battle lingered. Is she gone? Jason whispered, eyes scanning the empty warehouse, still rife with uncertainty. I think we did it, Aiden replied, threading his voice. But we have to stay vigilant. Shadows can be deceptive. Mia turned to Jason, seeking his approval. Can we face this together? Jason nodded, a spark of strength in his eyes. Always. They stood together, hands connected, three hearts beating as one while a bond ignited brighter than any fear had ever cast in shadow. And just as they dared to step toward the exit, with the moonlight guiding their way, Mia felt one lingering thought solidify in her mind. There would always be darkness. Life was a dance between shadow and light. But together, they could ignite hope even in the dimmest places. Walking out into the night, sleeves brushed together, an unwavering promise lingered around them. What once felt unseen would forever be harnessed with newfound courage. Suddenly, Jason paused. We could be so much more. What we did today, it was just the beginning. Mia smiled, hope blossoming within, a beautiful fire kindling anew, ready to face whatever came next. And in that shared quiet moment, the weight of the past slipped away, the future seeming wide open as they took their first steps toward home. Mia squeezed their hands tighter, the warmth enveloping them like a cloak. Together, she echoed, a mantra of promise, and the night welcomed their new beginning, bathed in the soft light of possibility. Now listen up. You need to subscribe immediately to the channel so you don't miss the next exclusive stories. Keep those notifications on. Smash that like button now to feed the algorithm. Your support is crucial. Flood the comments section with your reactions and theories. What did you think about the ending? And I want you to instantly share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this conclusion. Don't wait even one more second. Only true fans understand the importance of supporting our journey through these stories.